All right, GM monkeys. We have another Foundry sessions, and this time we have Zen talking about design, shipping fast without a full design team, and then going through some design review later in the sessions. I'm super excited. I hope all of you guys are super excited. With that being said, I'm gonna pass it off to you, Sin. Go ahead.
Thank you, Benny, and thank you, Monkey Doll, for having me. Let's get started. So, yes, I can see the chat. That's great. I will make this as interactive as possible. Let's start with ship fast without a full design team. For founders in Monkey Foundry, this is what you might need, but let me know along the way. So, next slide. Hi, my name is Sin, and here's a little intro about myself and my Web3 design journey. I started off as a UX designer, and then all the way until Breakpoint, I was with a company called Web3 Off. I'm not sure how many of you have heard. They're part of MetaMask right now, which is Consensus. And after Breakpoint, that's where I become a Bandito monkey. That's where I met Jemmy and got to know this amazing community. And up till today, I am a senior product designer with Trust Wallet, designing the mobile app and extension for over 210 million users on our mobile and extension. I have one question for all the attendees today. If there is one thing you hope to take away from today's session, what would it be? This helps me to kind of see what to focus on. Drop it in the chat. The next 1000x. Yes, we don't need design, right? Just go for that 1000xer. Bananas. What is one thing you hope to take away from today's session? Barrel raffle. Ooh, I'm not sure if we have one. Okay, some are still typing. Best way to capture and keep user attention and conversion tips. We can have a slight dive on that one. Something interesting that we can share about a trend. What defines good UI and common mistakes in UI design? That's two. If we can focus on one thing design-wise, what's most important for an MVP? What's the difference between UX, UI? How to iterate with users' feedback, balancing it with founders' vision. Landing Web3 jobs with my skills as a creator. Ooh. I'm seeing only purple UI these days. Is AI dominated right now? Ooh, we'll get to that. What's the major mistakes we see in Web3 product design? Why is Jimmy so weird? Okay, I hear you. So with this in mind, we can get started. Some of this might be answered in what I've prepared. If not, feel free to reach out. Happy to share more with you guys after that. Moving on, ship fast without a full design team. What does ship fast mean? I'm curious from the founders in the chat. How are you shipping right now? Do you go from design to development, or you vibe code it and just ship it? I see some pretty polished projects who came in with some design for review. We can share that and take a look later. Best tools to use for UX and UIs and stay organized. Muting you right now. That's a funny Cersei picture or GIF right there. So how are founders shipping right now? Do you guys do research? Do you guys do prototyping? How many of you have designers in the team? Or it's just developers? I yell at my devs till they get it right. Wow, that's pretty hardcore. I hope they are AI devs. Find other good apps we like, copy design after we get functional buttons on pages. That is a smart way. Copy what works and fit it according to you. We have designer, but we'd love to hire you away from Trust Wallet. Ooh, that's pretty tough. I can't be moonlighting, so. Flojo's our designer. That's the dream, right? I love it. I saw that on Twitter. We have a designer on Cherry of Fun plus founders have product design background. That's the best way when you have all in one. Solo builder with programming background, so I'm very light on design. Okay, I will share with you some design 101 that you can quickly take away if you would like some crash course and some resources along the way. How do I design UI in one simple step? With AI, maybe all you need is a mic and let users speak to you. Okay, 3 things to do more of. If you would not like to focus on the rest of it, the presentation, you can focus on these 3 things to do more of if you want to ship fast. More low fidelity sketches. Why is this so? Because it saves a lot of time. And some common mistakes in the industry is people always think that, hey, let's get something fancy and nice, capture users' attention, and then we'll go. And this is often a few steps backwards if we don't get the basics right. So we have this shift left kind of movement or design method at Trust Wallet where we focus on double down on the wireframe first, knowing what we want, where it is, exactly have an idea of how things are before we move forward to a high fidelity. Because once you get the foundation right, it's easier to move forward. So to ship fast, you actually need to start with pen and paper. More user focused. This means that to ship fast, it starts best when you take a step back and look at what is user trying to achieve on your app. I saw some examples about payment or about rating reviews from the Foundry cohort, and those are the core goal that you would like users to focus on. So design around users' goal, you can ship faster because users are telling you what they want. Few teams actually do this in Web3. Next, less is more. These are 2 examples what less is more means. Sometimes you think that presenting a lot in front of users will give them what they want, but actually, if you know what you recommend them, then maybe going less is more. And also to one of the point previously, I think Chrissy mentioned about conversion, etc. So here we can tell that Magic Eden is really smart. Just by one model, you can see they convert instantly by directing your attention just at their wallet and then motivating you by saying, hey, if you sign in with this, you can earn tokens. I mean, in Web3, who doesn't want more tokens? And the rare case we have is Pump.Fun. This is a very special case study that a lot of people wonder like, oh, it's so flashy, but how come so many people are using it? That's a separate topic. Any of you, I'm curious if any of you tried the Pump.Fun mobile wallet app. Confirm. Amy is the next 1000 Xer. Pump mobile wallet app is actually really good in my opinion. Could you elaborate? Not the mobile, but the desktop feels like chaos to me. Now I use Vector. Ooh. I like the social interaction on Vector. Don't like pump. There are some extreme cases, but that's how they make a lot of people go to extremes because of them. Love and hate. Pump team is it. Okay, they deliberately made it look like shit so people gamble more. That's true. On their mobile, if you haven't tried it, on their mobile app, they have this like $50 demo thing that you can take profit anytime. And that was just an exciting way to get onboard users. Again, about conversion. Right after you see that screen, you're like, oh, let me put some money in. Leaf off is the future, waiting for them to launch properly. Pump is disgusting. They won't end well, and they're going to see all the hypocrisy on the feed. Okay. Yes, so they're pretty extreme. Some works, some doesn't. And this is the part where I share a little bit about Design 101 and some resources for those solo dev who don't have a designer in the team. This might be useful for you. And we have this for brand, UI, UX, and product. These are a lot of terms thrown out there, and one of you guys have mentioned what's the difference between UI and UX. We can start by explaining what each of them are to get started. So I have these icons and a scenario that is easy to explain what these different types of design mean. So imagine you're already a founder, so you don't have to imagine. As a founder, you are hiring someone. So this candidate comes knocking at your door. Hey, read my CV or resume, hire me. So what you receive is the CV, and you see how the candidate brands themselves. Is the CV 1 page long, 2 page long with colors, etc. So that's some branding, personal branding from this person that you just met with a CV. And then you decided, oh, okay, let's talk to this person. Let's hop on a call. And then you will see the person, how they look. The first impression counts. And that's UI. UI, it's always about how it looks. And then you had a half an hour call. After that, you have a review and share with your team. Oh, what do I think about this person? How does that person make me feel? That's UX. So UI, it's mainly about how it looks. UX is about how it makes you feel. So for Pump.fun, the UI is chaotic, the UX chaotic. So these are the feelings and UI, how it looks that you experience with Pump.fun. And then product design. What is product design? Why is there another term for this? This is when, at this point, you consider this candidate and you ask yourself, can this candidate help me make more money? Is it worth to hire him or her first? And then what's next for my team? How do I grow? How do I make money? How can this person help me grow? So product design is always about prioritization and monetization. What is feasible? What is desirable? What is viable? This is 4 types of design explained in a scenario where founders want to hire somebody. Okay, let's go to brand design. These are crypto tokens. And you can see that at a snapshot, black are the most outstanding one. And the next you will notice are blues and purple. What does this mean? If I kind of pulled together 5 of these brands under Monkey Foundry, just an example of what you see. And then you will see it's green, black, and a funny character. So for brand design, you will look at color psychology. This is by intention. And if you're going with green, you're going with nature, healing, freshness, quality. That fits Flojo really well. And then black, you're looking at formality, dramatic, sophistication, security. And for loot, you have a really cute character that goes around. And with loot box, there is some yellow and brown, etc. So every step of color choice is important. Loot go the cutest. Yes, it's so cute. I saw the recording, and I made some comments during the review. I'll share that later. So you can see a lot of crypto coins, etc. Back in the olden days or the start, they go with blue because we want to build trust and loyalty. But we are going towards more like purple to make people feel royal, ambition, especially with AI. And then, as we can tell, Monkey DAO has a mixture of green and yellow. That's like creativity, happiness, cheerfulness, warmth, and quality. That is very accurate of the brand for sure. Next, for brand, we have brand archetypes. For founders, if you would like to look at brand archetypes after this conversation, you can go Google more about brand archetypes. This saves you a bunch of money contacting consultancies where they will ask you, oh, if your brand is an animal, what would it be? And these are some examples of how Apple gives the brand archetype of a creator, Disney, magical, Nike is a hero, etc. I guess we'll be a raccoon if we're an animal. Yes, the raccoon is super cute. Props to that. Next one, for UI. What do you think it is? Most of people think that UI, it's just like make it look nice, etc. However, how do you move fast? It's when you have a system. So I saw that WeRate actually have already started their design system. That's great. You can put this into great use and help you move faster because anytime you need a button, just dive into the system and grab it and go. So once this is set up, you can easily prototype what you need without much thinking. And UI is also about visual hierarchy. So I'll just take a pause and let you read this. This is an example of visual hierarchy where you will read this and then probably read this and then you will leave this for the last. That's how people make use of font, weight to get you to read certain things on their screens. I think I saw on MPay, they have this like bright gradient button to get users to click, and that gets user to click instantly because that's what they see first. Building a design system with standardized components is major alpha for design scalability. That's right. All the cool people in Toronto. None wants to invest time to do this. Okay. Now we go to UX. UX, actually, there are laws around UX, but I don't want to bore you with it. And you won't need a lot of this, just some major ones. So, for example, there is a Hicks law that says the time it takes to make a decision increase with the number and complexity of choices. So if you imagine a typical evening where you ask your friend or partner, what do you want to eat? And it probably result in a long pause where people reply, I don't know. That's a scenario in UX. Which is the best UI design you have seen in Web3? Best UI design you have seen in Web3. I really like Family Wallet. Family Wallet has a great onboarding especially, where they tell users what wallet it is, how to secure their wallet, customizing their wallet, making people feel happy even before they land on the homepage. Family Wallet is very well designed. If you haven't checked that out, I highly recommend. This is a great slide with the text sizes and bold weights. I'm so tempted to read the tiniest text first though. What's wrong with me? Slush Wallet on Suite is awesome. I saw that on the App Store. I haven't downloaded it. Wait, what is Family Wallet? Family Wallet used to be developing on EVM, I think, and then they bought them over. Now it's under Awe's personal wallet. Okay, back to UX. About asking your friend or family, what do you want to eat? It probably takes a long time for them to decide because there's a lot of choices. So for your product, if you want user to keep going, reduce the amount of choices. You're probably going to get sign up within 1 minute here compared to here. However, some helper with like install text right here can help you push user to use that wallet. Product. I will touch very briefly on product. Product, it's more like prioritizing what gives you value and how much effort it takes to build and what can you do within a certain period of time. That is very important for founders because time is money. You need to move fast when you start and you need to bring it to users almost as quick as possible. So prioritizing is very important. That's where product design it's best used on. These are some personal references or resources that you can make use of for brand design. I personally go to Fiverr before AI was available. I go to Fiverr to find like brand designers to quickly give me some logos, and they're pretty affordable. Maybe 2 digits, like less than 100 USD, just to get you started with some concept. And then you can use Sora or Nano Banana from Gemini to take it to the next level and give you that whole brand to get started. I know, right? Content creators can use Nano Bananas and go bananas. For UI, for framework, Tailwind CSS is what I'm familiar with or used it before. For inspiration, check out Mobbin. Mobbin is a site to give you an idea of, if you search for apps or website, just search for the product name and you can see all their apps and review, which is why it's good for UX too, because they have all the flows. For example, Duolingo, Uber, Tinder, all their screens are available on Mobbin. And templates on Figma. Ooh, templates on Figma would be good for UX too, to get you started quickly on wireframing and how to go about user journey, etc. Product design wise, you still need a human. So that's why a lot more companies are hiring product designers instead of UI or UX designers. Now the question is, okay, if I already have a designer, when do I hire another designer? When is a good time for another one? This is something quite common, and generally the healthy ratio is 1:10. So if you have 10 people on the team, then there should be 1 designer, and then you can kind of like scale this way. Anything more than 1:20, you're probably killing your designer in the team. Or if you have no designer, then I hope AI can help you as much, but you probably have a lot of debt from there. All right, now it's the fun part. Time for design review. So I thank 3 teams for sending over what they have, and I will share this with you. I will share this file with you with all my comments right there. If the founder or the team from MPay is here, let me know how you would like to receive your design review. You will like it super roasted, or you want me to be very kind with you? Hi, Kyle. You may roast. How much heat do you want? Roasted monkey, okay? Let's go with super roast. Then the heat. Okay, let's go. Full heat, if I have your permission. And super roast jammy. Okay, let's go. So right at first glance, if you were to look at this interface, your eyes, just like visual hierarchy, your eyes directly go to receive and refer. I would say that is very smart of you to put that right in front of users' eyes, especially if it's a new user. That's great. And then we'll move on to the little details from left to right. Look, is this a serial number, or is that the number of points, or is that money? Because without a comma to help user read this, we have no idea what this is. Kyle is typing. You want it super roasted, so there we go. Points, we need to format. It's in PR. There we go. Looks like an ID. Yeah. And next, I know you love your brand. You want to remind users, but maybe there's a better way to do that. Having it here just loses the real estate or importance of this space being used for something else. What something else means, or what something else would be. For example, you arrive on a page. See it as you arrive. Users will see this and see as you arrive at a new place. How do you feel when you're at a new place and then you keep seeing this and pay? It would help if you tell users where they are, which is home. And next we have notifications. This one, yep, let's turn on some roast heat here. I pull this color here, 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 this color. Bro, how many shades of blue do you want? Are you having 50 shades of blue? Okay, next. For this profile, yes, it's intuitive for users to click on it. Next, we have this total balance. So this one, it got a bit confusing with balance, saving. I'm not sure what the user's trying to see. So for example, if I have total balance of 350, I'm only left with 68. Like, why? And then there's some savings. And there is some little tiny thing that tells me 8.67%. There's so much business value in these tiny things that you can consider putting it bigger so that users can see it visually like, oh, if there's more savings, 8.67%. Should I put more money inside? That's where you have your conversion. This is exactly tiny things matter. And then the next one would be receive, send, withdraw. No further comments. But if you look just on this section, try to provide users more motivation or incentive. Why should I receive? Who should I send it to? Why should I even start any of this? Give them some motivation. Some people would put, so maybe you can consider putting this higher up. And then start exploring. Big font when priced up, small font when priced down. That's pretty strategic. Explore. This explore just says like a directory. Imagine going to a hotel and then the person welcome you and say, here's a card. Go explore the hotel. Thanks. That's how it feels when you look at this. Because savings, M card, you have so much more to play around with all these exciting features that you have, and it's just not doing justice. And you have a lot of space, a lot more space within the homepage to play around. So I would say go crazy. Do more visual exploration when you can for these cards. I see a lot of potential inside. Next is this. Okay. This is right in your face and deserves some roast, because generally if you have a page, you want to refrain from using two primary buttons. It's like what should I click? And it creates unnecessary load on the user's mind. Like, oh, they're calling to my attention, but what is it? Not too sure. And also there are a couple of you can consider starting your design system already so that you can keep these buttons consistent. Be it icon with text, icon with text with buttons. Start creating a design system. You can find it very helpful to help you ship fast. About this carrot here deserves a roast. Like randomly, it's in super big text out of this smaller text background. Maybe there's a reason. I'm not sure. Okay, next we go to this deposit screen. We have a little very tiny next beside this deposit. And what will help is, it's quite common on a wallet screen to get some common denominators here, to get people 20, 50, 100. It's easier for users to tap and go. Yeah. And then receive recent. That's great because you have recent. It helps user to kind of like identify who they previously interacted with. Are you sending to yourself or this or not? Somebody else. It's funny because your numbers move around like somebody else. Okay, that makes sense. It's funny because your numbers move around like disco balls, disco. Your numbers are just dancing on the screen. At the moment it's here, but then after it enters, it shifts here. This is like having users to move their eyes around unnecessarily. Try to avoid that. Keep it in one position if possible, and have common spacing between them. Deposit page is part of savings. The use logo is from the send page. The use logo is from the send page. The use logo is from the send page. Okay. Yeah. And then the next one to roles is like to send 150 to this person. And then you have this person, 150. It's like to send. It's like to send. So in my opinion, you don't need this. Keep it simple and clean. They can just read from here, slide to send. And there we go. What would be helpful is some title. So you can consider. So this is what we mean by, we have one UX law called Fitts law. This is a back button. If you have earn beside the back button, it can mean go back to the earn page or reverse earning, etc. So if you want to label this page, be bold about it, just put earn in the middle so users know where they are. It's like a directory. Next, we have the card right here. Another roles here is, I think this is intentional. You don't want users to read this and you keep it super small. Is there a reason why this is like super small? Legally have to include. Yeah, we always do that. For legal stuff, we just like made it super small for users, like, it's there, but you don't really read it. Don't be afraid about it. You can use a lighter, something lighter than this shade, but still made it readable so users would understand you. Having it like this makes user feel like you're hiding something from them. These view details, I assume it's for this card. And imagine, how do I describe this? Imagine having something that is disconnected with what they see. So if you want, you can consider having view details inside the card, just like what you did with this one. It helps them relate better what details they are viewing. Is this, I believe this belongs to this. So they can belong together on a card. This is another button style. That's why I recommend you to start your design system so you can scale faster. Anything else? That's all. No special comments on this. Nothing really stands out. Yep, that's all. This is the icon. I guess you can start with an icon library, so you don't have to search for an icon every time you need one. And then you don't have repeated icons. Okay, that's all for MPay. And I have all my comments here. Thank you for sending in your design. I will share this file with you. Then you can take a look at the details. Next, we go with this one. We rate. Okay, that's, I would say overall, they do a very good job. Do we have anyone from We Rate online? I am here. Yo, so how do you want your design to be roasted? Super spicy, please. Okay, no regrets. Let's go. Instantly, look, Popo has entered the chat. Okay. Instantly, your first impression for users is, okay, I don't know where you're coming from. So please choose one. Email, Google, Apple, wallet. You're giving users a lot to think about. And if you can, just show one or two and collapse the rest, like Magic Eden, based on your user base. So this goes back to how much you know about your users. And I think after going through your whole app, your users are probably more Web 2. So don't be afraid to just show like one of the option and then draw a line, connect with wallet. So don't bombard users with a lot of options to get started. Next is, okay, super spicy. So this one, I can share a legal tip for all founders. If you want users to kind of like agree and move forward without clicking anything, that's not a very nice kind of like legal way, because you are supposed to give users some form of friction to kind of like check a checkbox before they go forward. And putting it like this, like, oh, by continuing, you're saying yes. It's like asking for a date. By attending the date, you're saying yes if I propose to you, something like that. Give them an option to just check mark and continue. And then I remember, oh sweet, by the way, this deserves a cake, not a super spicy. I love the avatars here. One tip for this avatar is you can consider, you know how users are very obsessed with images when it comes to things that they see. Just like if you were to buy your own monkey NFT, you probably take some time to choose which one represents you the most. I choose mine because I want to wear the same hat as Jemmy. That's the truth. So I went into Bandito DAO. So some tip here is you probably want to save users energy by giving them a text that tells them, hey, you can change this anytime. You can come and edit this anytime later. So they can randomly choose one first before they move forward. Unless that's not the intention of Terry, if they choose it, they can't edit, then okay, then that's some time spent. But you know how people would just tell users like you can always come back and edit this later. That's something you will tell your users. Otherwise, if they have 100% energy, maybe like 80 or 90% is spent here, and then they don't have any more energy to, once they reach your homepage, they'll be like, oh, another day, please. So manage your first date's energy efficiently. And then this button here, it's calling for a lot of attention, and I wonder why until I went to what the button was about somewhere down. There we go. Check-in review. Yes, then that's a good use of the button this way because that's the core action. You know your users really well. Hey, check in, write a review. So that's a good way to kind of like bring out your app's core purpose right at once. I have something I wanted to roast so bad. I need to go directly to it. It would be, okay, this. So you guys did a great job in the design system, etc. But my question is, is this your mistress? What's happening? Like, you have a button that's fully rounded and then something that's like, I don't feel like it. I just want to make this not rounded, just a little round on the side. That's fine. Decide. Don't confuse users. And what else? Something that left very strong opinion. Oh yeah, this. So I understand like on this page where you want to show like numbers, it's like how many is in progress, etc. If you can align this or give, I mean, this look like a lonely ranger here trying to do some stuff, but not doing much stuff. So if you intend to show status number, then be bold about it. Just put it there. You can write a line so it's easy to read, or you can do something like this. So this number will feel like it belongs there. Otherwise, it doesn't belong anywhere. Other than that, I left some very minor comments. Yeah. Okay, the last one I should probably go through would be removing something or removing review. It's probably something that you don't want your users to do. So maybe you can start having the error or warning kind of like button to your UI or your design system. So users won't blindly click onto something. Other than that, overall, I would say this is pretty solid stuff. Good job. Keep it up. I don't have much roast for re-rate. Okay, last one. Let's go with Luco. Luco. Who do we have? Anybody? Yuki Luco. Check Alpha Luco. Oh, okay, there we go. Pick your roast level. 5, 4, 3. I like the roast pork. Oh, you're making me so hungry. Okay, let's go with some roast raccoon. Roast pork. Roast pork takes long hours of roasting. I probably would die. Overall, super cute. But perhaps I think you have more time to transit from this to this. This kind of feel like catfishing. It's like, oh, look at me, all beautiful, and bam. It's like you just from like a beautiful raccoon, you're like, oh, sorry, I forgot to put on my makeup. Yeah, it makes people feel like they got scammed after this beautiful, exactly 2.5D to 3D. I see so much potential in this one where you can have a video, just use AI to generate a video that can motivate users to go forward, but maybe it's something in the works. Yeah, so this is like, wow, going from 100 to 0 real quick. We'll still love you, makeup-less raccoon. Yes, it's super cute. Next is when you get users to click next here, I understand what you're trying to go through is to tell them what they need to do, what they can expect from Look Go. However, back to users' attention, you can better make use of this onboarding after they sign up. A question for you guys would be like, would you rather you gain, this is like evil, but as businesses, would you rather you have one user or would you rather you have no users? If it's just more strategic to onboard that user first, and then let them do some stuff later rather than not having them at all. So this is where you can consider putting the app onboarding after user got into the app. By logging in, you agree to our terms and privacy. This is pretty standard. You can put that check mark if you want. That's best practices as from legal point of view. So this button will be disabled and then get users to just check mark it. I like this because it's simple. Like I know my users. Just email will do. And that's how you get started. Next one, I wonder if this is black dark UI or UX because you got an invite, etc. But are you trying to make your users skip the ticket and token because you put this button so big and beautiful that you just click it without entering the invite code? If it is, then maybe less can put in a secondary button so they know that, they can stop and think like, if I have invite code, I can enter it. They might not have an invite code. Now, so it depends. If you have more users that might not have an invite code, then this is the way forward. Otherwise, user will be like, scam. Just kidding. It's too cute. I like this a lot because this is one type of onboarding that a lot of applications are not doing very well, and you guys nailed it. There's only so much you can tell users. So let them try it out, and you don't need to talk so much. So that's brilliant and great way to just onboard users by trying. I love the streak part. Fine. This is where I reach this page, and we go. A lot of things are fighting for attention, and they're all in white, like super, like FFF, 6 times of F white. Give them more visual hierarchy. Like maybe this balance is in a lighter gray. So try to play around with 50 shades of white. Kidding. Try to play around with some variations so that you can bring the important details to users without bombarding them with all this white color text all at once. Lastly, I would say emotional design. I think Ludgo nailed emotional design because having this character bowing to you just makes you want to drop your X or Discord username. I mean, like, just take my money. So it's a good emotional design right there. And that's all I have. I will be sharing this file with you guys. I'll drop it for Benny, and then you guys can look at all the comments I dropped for you. Okay. That's all. Anything else you would like to ask?
Amazing. Thank you so much. Is there any questions from any of the audience? Anything that founders want to double click on? Want any clarification? Or any miscellaneous questions? This is the time to do it. And Moonseller is right. Amazing row session. Amazing alpha shared.
I know. The bowing raccoon stole everyone's heart. Okay.
Awesome. Well, it seems like there's no questions from the audience. I think you already mentioned that you'll send over the comments that you added. I'll distribute those to the grantees as well. If anyone has any questions, I'm sure Sin would be happy to answer any or clarify some on the comments. We will be uploading this sessions to YouTube. We'll be making a Twitter post. We'll be posting highlights. But I hope everyone enjoyed this Foundry sessions. We're going to continue to be hosting these, hopefully at least every other week, maybe a little bit more frequently here and there. We might test out some X live streams utilizing StreamYard. Who knows? But with that being said, I want to thank everyone again for tuning in. Thank you, Sin, for joining us and taking the time out of your day and week to add comments to all of these designs. Is there any closing out statements, any shout outs, anything you want to say before we close up the session here?
I think it's an exciting team right here to be building with a group of builders. And it's nice that you have this session to keep them bonded and bring more value to Monkey DAO. I'm so happy to have this and also give back. So thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for joining us. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in. We will see you next time at the next Foundry sessions, or you can join us on Monkey Monday Spotlight every Monday on the Monkey DAO live stream. And we have Town Hall tomorrow, and we do have a build with Monkey DAO, actually, Monkey Foundry segment within Town Hall. So if you want to share something, let Jemmy know, let Moon know, maybe let me know, who knows. I don't do Town Hall, but I hope everyone has an amazing week, amazing weekend, and we will see you next time.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Benny.
Bye, everyone. Have a good one. Thank you so much. Later.